Hello everyone, this is David with Laser Games, coming back to you with tutorial number 2 for our creation series. Now this is where we left off. We had just generated the land using a height map and installed this water plane. Today we're going to go over some basic stuff like placing objects and doing the road system. Now, while I was making this tutorial, I did some basic stuff to the map to get it ready for this one. So I'm going to lead you over to that area here. Now I just came to a random point and flattened the area here like this. Now the way I did this was um, there's an option called replace over here. Now what you want to do is come up here to terrain sculpt mode and click that on. Then you'll get your little widget. I went to the brush type here and made it square. Then I went to the middle mouse button right here and clicked replace. Now what I did was right here, with replace brings all the land up or down to a certain level. What I did was I went here and where it says replace picking, control R. So that the little white and red pole that's sticking up right here, if you go to any point, like right here, and push control R. Oops, I'm sorry. You can't be inside one of these other menus. You have to be down here into the replace. You push control. No. Actually, I'm guessing you can't be over there either. Just click over here in your scene graph. So nothing's selected. Then come over here and push control R. Now you see right here where the pole was, where it touched the land was at the height 187.7 blah 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 blah. Okay. Now what you want to do is if you go ahead and let's just bring that down to an even number 185 and push enter. If you come over here, now where it said 185, you're gonna go ahead and drop this down and make sure the middle mouse button says replace, and you're gonna hold down the middle mouse button and it's gonna, well, okay, the reason why it's doing mine so sharply is because I have the radius is 18 that you can just roll the mouse button to adjust. Okay, just say I want the radius 320. Okay, I put the opacity always 1, hardness 1, value 1. What that does is it does everything at really sharp angles. If you did the hardness at 0.5 the way it was before, and then 0.1 for the value, what it does is it does it, but it does it more softly, like that. So, and then see how it's bringing the lower stuff up and the higher stuff down? I just went and did that. So just first get a nice little flat area on your map. Pause the video and make a nice little flat area. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go out of terrain sculpt mode. Okay. Now here's my basic flat area here. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do roads. There's actually 2 different ways to do roads. So first, let's go down here and get a little closer here. Okay, there's 2 ways to do roads. You can either paint them on, or use a model representing a road. Now, first I'm going to show you how to paint them on. You're going to come up here into Terrain Detail Texture Paint mode and click that. Now, what it's going to do is Giant Editor kind of chops the whole terrain into small squares. Now, in each one of these squares, you can only have, the rule is you can have only 4 painted textures. Now, this for the terrain editing, if you don't have all this stuff here, you can go to Window, Terrain Editing, and it'll pop up all this stuff. And if these aren't like flew out like this, like that, if they all look like that, or like this, okay, you just want to, you can go ahead and put the brush and the terrain layer painting on. Okay, now we're going to set our radius for our brush to 5. Okay, that'll make a little square like this. Now, it uses these buttons right here. It does. It really doesn't use replace or subtract. It just uses the add for the left mouse button, and it uses the brush type square around. So, if you come down here, these are all the different stuff you can paint: dirt, grass, rock, beach sand, gravel, asphalt, cobblestone, long grass. The long grass, if you don't know what it is, it's that grass that they use down at the golf course. In the original map, it's really ugly. But if you ever want to make a golf course on your map, you got that texture. So the first thing we're going to do is let's come to some dirt. Just say I want a dirt road. You come down here, push the left mouse button, drag it. Dirt road. Now, I haven't found any buttons or anything to make it go straight. To keep it on the grid. I even tried shift, that doesn't work. But there you go, there's a road, a dirt road. You can also come down here and have like a gravel road. You have the asphalt. Now this is painstakingly hard. You want to go real slow if you want a straight road. Or you can kind of keep it like that to make it look realistic. I mean, it's good with the dirt one, but not so much for the asphalt. You got cobblestone here. Okay, see how I can't paint? That's because if I come and rotate around and look at this little thing here, for this square right here, inside this square, I already have 4. I have grass, dirt, gravel, and asphalt. This grass. Now the bottom layer of grass counts as a paint layer. So grass, dirt, gravel, and see this little bit of asphalt right here that comes into the square? It counts, even if it's at 1%. So see, like over on this one, how it has 3. This square has grass, dirt, and gravel. I can paint cobblestone over here. But see, as soon as I try to come into that one, blink, nothing, I can't paint. See, that's the limitations that you have based on that. Let me see, there's like beach sand is this. Long grass, here's the long grass. Wait, no, that's cobblestone, I'm sorry, my bad. Long grass. Is that painted grass here? Okay. Now, this is how you can make basic roads by painting them on. Only thing it is it does fall under that four painted textures per square limit. Now, when you get really close into town and you're painting dirt and grass and cobblestone and sidewalks and all that kind of stuff, it can really be a limitation. Now, the good thing about this is something like this. You will find every once in a while, like over here, it'll look green, but it'll say like dirt 1%. That is because somewhere in there's a little bit of dirt that you can barely see. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. You're going to roll your mouse button downward and make your square really, really big. Now if you come over here to grass, which is all this stuff, and click the mouse button, it erases it. You can come and what you want to do is you're going to want to erase it and make sure that this grass percentage is 100 everywhere else, and so you can just erase it. And then you can roll the mouse button back up and go down to where you want your road, or you can come up here and just say click 5 and go to another number, and then it'll go down to 5. And then you can go ahead, and what that does is that's good. It can be a pain when, let's just say, in this area you painted dirt, cobblestone, asphalt, and there you go with the green grass, that makes 4. And then you go to make some rock, like over here. Just the rock is like painting the side of walls here, like that, so you can make details. I was stick on grass and then go back up. Get off of grass. Oh, I always click over here. And then you go to the radius. Wait, it's not letting me do that again. Okay, let's go. Let's just set it for 5. Okay, it's on 5. Then you just go ahead and erase it. You can actually, you have to start clicking first. Let's see, I'll go ahead and erase this. Make sure that's 100% grass again. And you just want to do that, and you see this 1% dirt, and you're like, oh crap, where did I click for one dirt? It can be a pain in the butt, because you gotta look around and really close and try to find out where you put some dirt down. Okay, that is one option. Now, the second one, I'm gonna go ahead and take click off of the terrain detail mode, so it goes back. Now, the second way is to import models. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky because I'm going to explain certain things about hierarchy. Hierarchy is a pain in the butt, but is the basis of this game because of the fact like cow zones and sheep zones and the granary and everything's built off of these hierarchy. And I'll show you real quick what a hierarchy is. See, this is my field. This is that every map has, in order to open inside the game, has to have one own field. So that is where my own field is, way down there. Excuse me. And this is a hierarchy. That's where the field is, which is at 0, 0. Then this field is where the main field is. Then there's the buy triggers and the icon and the dimensions and the corners and the see, this is all the hierarchy. But basically means is I'm gonna use the term center of the universe. The main field transformation group. This is a transform group. Okay. A transform group is basically the grouping of all the parts of all this is one little field. That's a 10 by 10 field. But that's all you need. You need the icon to buy it, and then that floats in the out on the land when you're in game. You see the little round thing floating around. Then you have the trigger, which means where you walk into and it triggers that little pop-up. Then you have the dimensions of the field, and then corner 1 and corner 2 and corner 3. It shows the corners of your farm, so your helper knows where the end of the farm is. Then the field map indicator. That's when you're inside the game and you go on the PDA. You see the 12, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where it tells the field number. Okay. So now you see how this field is at 0, 0. You always want the first thing in the hierarchy is always you always want it to be, it's like a placeholder. It's the 0. It's the 0, 0 of the universe, the center of the whole map. Now, the reason why I did this, when you click on this field, it says 90, is because I lowered the land on this whole entire map to 90. 90. So I put field 1, you want the field to be at 90 because that's at the center of the map. Now that's going to be different based on later on where it is in the map. It might be on higher ground, it might be on lower ground. But right now I have it set at 90 because that's where the map was originally, the terrain was. Okay, then, so that tells where the main field is. Now, what that does is when you come down to this level of hierarchy, it makes this field based on this 0. So it raises it up to 90. Now, this is another subfield of the field. This is the field by trigger. Now, I have it at 0, 0, and the reason why it doesn't shoot back down there is because it's based on this. It uses this as a starting point as 0, 0, 0, even though it says 90. This one here sees this one as the center of the universe again. So what it did was, I have it at 0, 0, 0 because I wanted the field map trigger to be at 0, 0, 0 for when I edit it later. Okay, now the field by icon is based off of this field trigger. So that is where this is. It's going to be right there, right on top of it. Okay, then you have the field dimensions. Now this is based off of 0, 0 of this field. Now, this field dimensions sees this main field that it's branching off of as the center of the universe, even though it says 90. This one sees it as 0, 0, 0. So the field dimensions, I started at 0, 0, 0. Then I went ahead and after your field dimensions, you got to make the first corner. So the first corner I made at 0, 0, 0 base, and this sees this as the center of the universe. So we say, with this one, we have that 0. Now we have to start setting out the corners of the field. Now you only need 3 corners for a square field because it actually recognizes where the 4th one is supposed to be. And you can actually have up to like 5 or 6. Depending on the shape of the field. I like to make square fields. I hate the ones that like go angular because the helper can never do it. But I might experiment with it. But I have seen a lot of maps where fields overlap and all that kind of stuff. So what I like to do is just do it this way. Now what it is this corner, everything under it sees this as the center of the universe, that's 0, 0, 0. So this one, I moved 10 over. Okay. Now, the second one here, it still sees this as 0, 0 because it's under this one. So what I moved is 10 forward and 10 over. So now I got my main point, my forward point, and my forward and over point, so that makes a field. And then right here for the field map indicator, it is based off of the main field, because if you follow the line, it's based off of the transfer group. So this is at 90, and just put it right on top of that corner. Okay. That is kind of hard to understand the hierarchy. The only reason I even went into this is because of the fact of about what I'm about to show you next. So if you can go ahead and close these all up. Okay, and we'll go into fields later on. But okay, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do show you how to do roads with models. Okay, so what you're going to do is there's going to be a link in the description for a model for a mod to download. It's the Road Construction Kit version 3.0 from Fatian or Fatian. I don't know how he says it, but it contains 130 different components, curves, intersections, slopes, special components, um, and all that. And it also has the actual, looks like it has the models you can bring into um, the master file, so you can actually edit them if you wish. But you go ahead and link, click on that link and download it to your computer. And you can pause the video. Now, once you're done and you have that on the desktop on the zip, just remember to unzip everything and go into that folder and get the actual mod folder, because it's gonna be, when you extract it to your desktop, it's gonna have a folder with another folder in it. You want to take that folder out of there, and that's the one you want to go to, your best starter map, models, then the custom models, and you want to drop that folder in there. I'm assuming you know how to do that since I showed you in that last video. And you know how to unzip it because 7-zip, the link to download 7-zip is in the last video. Okay, so once you got that, you're going to go back to the editor here. You're going to go to File, Import. Now, I already went there before, but what you want to do is you want to go to Best Starter Map, Models, Custom Models, and this is where you should have put that file. Now you're going to open this up, and you're going to see these 4 things. Um, these are the master files. They're the actual main files for it, and these are the master texture files. Now what it is these are all the texture files for this kit. This alternative, you can't see it when I click into it because it's looking for i3ds, but inside this alternative folder is actually alternative textures for the roads. You can copy them out of there and paste them into this master texture file, and I'll change the roads. I'm not worrying about that right now. As far as I saw and from what I heard, they're just like roads that look more rustic, little cracked roads. These ones look really nice, and I like the newer roads, because I'm so used to dirt and gravel and asphalt. That it'd be nice to have some nicely paved roads on your farm, um, and everything. So, okay, now you're gonna click on the road construction kit and click open. Okay, now what that's gonna do is that's gonna put that whole pack of 130 models all into the map right here. Okay, now if you look at this map, this thing, it's basically based of a plane and all the models. And the reason why you put the plane is so you can see the streets better, because he made it red, the plane red. Okay. Now he made the hierarchy of this map right here at 0, 0. So it basically means it's at 0, 0 now. So it's way down there. So let's go ahead and go go through the ground. And there it is. This is all the models that come with this map, with this mod. All of them right there. Now, anything with the dots on it is a street. Anything with this no dots, like right here, is a lane. These are lanes. These are different degrees of turns for streets. These are roads that go uphill, lanes that go uphill. You got intersections over here. Now, that is that's basic. So I'm gonna place a road, and I'm going to show you basically how to place a road and make it really easy. We're going to do two parts. We're going to do, I got to go lower because I'm above the water plane. Okay, so we're going to click the street here. Okay, when you click something in the screen, it's going to jump over here to where it is in the hierarchy. Now, this street right here says 0, 0. That's because this street is moved off. He put all the streets in the same spot, stacked on top of each other. See how this one goes one, there's a shorter one, there's a shorter one, there's a shorter one right there. They're all stacked on top of each other. So what we're gonna want to do is the first thing you're gonna want to do is, okay, it brought us to here, which was this big long street. You can't really see it highlighted because when we go up here, we're going through the water plane. Yeah, see, we're above the water plane. That's why you can't see it down there. So make sure you're on the street 100 meters. Now, what you're going to want to do with that highlighted, you're going to push edit, copy. Okay, then you're going to close the street and then close the street pack. Okay. Now we don't want this model inside the street pack. So when you go here and you have nothing selected, you're going to go to edit and paste. Okay, now what it does with this model, when you paste it, it's going to paste it at 0, 0, 0, which is right over there. Now what it does is all these models, most of them have the pivot point at the end of the road so that you can turn it 90 degrees at an intersection, and it's easier to work with. Now, see these other rotates? We'll go ahead and just zero those back out. Okay. Now that marker, that pivot point is at 0, 0, 0. Here is a cool little part. Now, we're gonna make a hierarchy, okay? And to make a hierarchy, we're gonna make first thing you want is a transform group. So we're gonna make sure nothing's selected by clicking right here, and then go to create transform group. Okay. Now what that basically does is just make a marker. Now when you first create a transform group, it's going to be at 0, 0, 0. It's going to be in the very middle of the map. Now when the next thing you're going to do is we want to be able to edit the streets and go to it really quickly if you want to change the street. The way the main map does it, it has like cow zone, and then it has all the streets connected with that, or it has the street like the city streets. They'll all be together. But I like going into a transform group and make multiple transform groups under one, so it's all based on 0. Okay, because you want to base everything off the center of the back, especially if you free place, go for it. Free place them all over, make the scene graph as long as you want it. But if you want to work by numbers and work fast and efficiently, you are going to want to base it on the hierarchy system. So I'm going to go to this transform group, and I'm going to go up to here where it says name, and I'm going to name it streets. And make sure you do it all in lowercase. Sometimes it lets capitals, but I like to do them in lowercase just in case. And then make sure after you type in streets, you always push enter. You hear the beep, and it'll change this down here to streets. Okay. Now you're gonna highlight this because you're gonna have streets in different areas. You want like they do in the main map. You want the streets for the biogas area, the streets for the cow area, the streets for whatever. So just to base this on the normal hierarchy system, like I would do, you highlight the street transfer group, and you put create transform group. Oops. Now you're gonna go ahead. Now it's gonna place it at 0, 0 again. You want to take this transfer group, highlight it, push edit, cut, and then click on streets and push edit, paste. Then it'll transform it into, it'll put it there. Now this transform group, let's just make up a name. Let's just say I'm making the streets around the cow pasture. So let's type in cow pasture and push enter. Okay, now what that does is that changed it into this. Okay, now this cow pasture is going to be different because this street, you always want the main part of the hierarchy to be at 0, 0 in the middle of the map. Now this cow pasture is going to be where your cow pasture is. So see how this is right here? And that's based on the middle of the map. Now we're going to come out. We're going to go back to our area and just say this is the cow pasture area. Okay. So, and then you want to work off of all the cow pasture area. So, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take this cow pasture, and if you push Control B and here, now if you look at it, it says this right here. It says negative 200 point blah blah blah. Now this right here, this ground placement right here, is at 178. Mine, the one we did over there was at 185. One I made over here is at 178. That's why this says 178. Negative 200, and then this right here. So what I like to do is make these even numbers. So let's go ahead and make the x translate as negative 200. That puts it right there. Okay, we have the y translate as the flatness, which is 178, which is mine. Yours will be 185 if you're following that tutorial for the other flat period area. And this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and make 160. Let's round it up to at least 160. Okay, that put it right there in the corner. Now, what's going to happen is now, when you go to this main transfer streets group, it's going to be based on the center of the map, down there. Now, when you based on the cow pasture, like roads, it's going to be based here. So now everything after this sees this, this, and this as 0. It sees this point as 0, 0. So, let me show you here. Now, what we're going to do is this street here that we added is still way down there at 0, 0. So what we want to do is to make it at the 0, 0 of the cow pasture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cow pasture right here with this selected. First I'm going to go to this street. I'm going to right, okay, no, you can't right click, I wish you could. Highlight that, go to edit, cut. So now it's cut, but it's saved. Go to the cow pasture and click edit, paste. I'm already going to figure that because the pivot point is at the end, this road is going to be going right here with these two matched up. Paste. And there you go. Okay, now it looks like he has the pivot point of that right on the top edge of the road, not on the bottom of the road. I don't know why he did that. But, okay, so now, this cow pasture here is right there. This street one is right there. It's right on top of each other because even though this one, okay, see how this says 0, 0? You would think it's at the middle of the map, but no. It's 0, 0, 0 of this cow pasture mark right there. So what we're going to want to do is go back to the street. Now it looks like what happened is it's because I put part, the rest of the stuff is down in the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this arrow widget, make sure you're on street 100, and we're going to raise it up. Okay, we want to kind of raise it up like a little bit. Now because these streets do have a lip on it, see this little edged lip here, right there? I always lower it down so you can see how it sinks down, and stick it down right to the edge of that gravel, where the gravel starts. You can do it with this, or you can also do it with this right here. So let's try 0.05. 0.05. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So now, see how, okay, there we go. Now we're going to come out here. So now that street is at 0.05 up of this cow pasture mark, which is 0. Now we can base all movements on this using this cow pasture mark as 0. So what you're going to want to do is go down here. Okay, first thing we want to do is rotate it this way. So watch up here on the left as the Y rotates. Okay, see how some of this stuff went off mark here? So to rotate 0 to 0. 0. Okay, make sure these are to rotate to 90. That's why I use the numbers instead of doing the widget, because it does everything funky. So now that's going that way. Sorry. It's 0, 0, 0. Okay, so now there's your street. Okay. So now, what's cool about this is, just say you want one street on this side of the cow pasture and one over here. Now it's really easy to do. Only thing you go is click on the street, click edit, duplicate. It makes another copy of that street and actually has it highlighted. Now you can do two ways. You can move this over like this with the widget and put it over there. Now let's say we wanted to move it over by -90 to the right. Okay, actually the top of the map is like up here somewhere. I don't know. So I just kind of guesstimate. This right here did 90. Basically what it is it rotated it 90. It was a copy of this one, and then I just moved it over 90 meters right there. Now you can either move it with the widget, or you can just come over here to translate. So you just go Control Z. Okay, no, let's come over here. Control Z. Control Z, Z, Z. Okay, now it's back over here. Instead of like moving it with the widget and have all those funky numbers, you can just come up here and put translate Z -90. And then click over here, and there you go. There it is. And then you can duplicate this again. Now what it is whichever one you click is where it's going to duplicate from. So if I have this one highlighted and duplicate, it's going to put it over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, now this is what makes stuff cool. when you want streets that are parallel to each other at even amounts. So, so what you're going to do is you're going to go back to this street here, and we're going to duplicate it. Edit, duplicate. Oh, I think I just pushed delete. Control Z. Oh, my bad. I pushed delete instead. Okay, you want to go to this one right here, this original street. Now, when it makes a duplicate, it makes it right above it. And you can actually name these if you want. See up here? Like, let's, for this one, let's, name this. Name this left side. Okay. And we go to this one over here and do this as right side. Right side. Enter. Okay. And then we're going to go to this left side one and we're going to actually edit and duplicate. Okay. Now, well, actually, it did. I guess this one stays highlighted and the new one's right there, but it does, sometimes it doesn't really matter. So we had right side, which is this one, the left side, which is this one, and this one we're gonna rename middle. Push enter. Okay, now this middle is based on this first marker. Now we know that this one over here is at 90 on the negative 90 on the Z. So if we do negative 45, you know it's going to be exactly in the middle. Now, I am a numbers person. I actually like using the numbers. The one cool thing too is because all these roads right here, this right, middle, and left are all under this cow pasture. When you click cow pasture transfer group, it's going to select all of them. So now I can take this and just say I want to move it up. It moves all of them. I'm going to push Control Z to go back. And you can all base it off of this. So just say you made a nice little, you spent all this time and you made the curves and you made the roads around one field. Now let's just say on the other side of the map you want to make a copy. You want to make a copy of the whole entire road system that you just made on the other side of the map. You come over here to cow pasture and look at you. Hey, I got 3 roads already made. Let's just go ahead and click on that. Go to edit, copy, edit, paste. Now what it did was see, this is a mistake that I made. It put it under this other cow pasture because I still had cow pasture highlighted. So we can push Control Z. We're going to go out. We're going to close this. And we're going to go under streets here. But now we're going to go edit, paste again. Now look at here. Now under this streets you got 2. You got this one and you got this one. They're stacked right on top of each other because of that. So let's take this other one and let's name it. Let's name it sheep area. Okay. And push enter. Now we got the cow pasture and sheep area. So let's just say we want the sheep area to be up there. Now the roads are really big and they're not going to fit up there, but I'm just going to use this for demonstration purposes. You take the sheep area and you have it selected. Now they are on top of each other, so, and remember this is the whole transfer group, so this is all 3 roads, a copy of all 3 roads. Now we're going to come up over here. Okay, and now we're going to go in the same direction, and we want it over here. You just go to sheep area, have it highlighted, push Control B, and click. And now what it is it put that height right here, which means that corner ain't exactly at that. So let's go ahead and change this to 185 to round it off. Okay. So that's at 185. Now, because all these are on the same exact level, if you base it all off of this Y translate, see how I only did it up to the edges over there? Like over there. Even when I bring it over to this one, it's at the same thing. But since it's bigger than this area, I can really fix this easy. If you go to sculpt mode, it's at 185. It's at replace, so it's already set up from before. So we just go like this and fix it to the end of the street. Bring all your streets up here. Have all this even. Make sure to go back and forth so it's all the same level. And there you go. Now you have the same exact group, the same exact distance apart, the same exact up and down, except for the main transfer group. If you look, okay, let's get out of screenshot mode. It's right there. It's based on that corner. That corner is the corner of the transfer group. That corner is the corner of that transfer group. Easy peasy. And the same thing if you want to extend these roads. Okay. Okay, that's the terrain. Okay, let's go back to the sheep. Okay, so just say you have this road and you want it to keep going straight. The only thing you have to do is just see that. Now, what you can do is, okay, now this is how the hierarchy system is based again. This is the sheep area. Under the sheep area is the sheep areas here. Now, the easiest way to do this is, see, this sheep area is based on all that. Now all this is based off of the center of the world. See how you have streets and it highlights all the streets? Because that's the main street transfer group. Now, this one is this distance from that. This one is based, all this numbers are based on that 0, 0 down there. This one here, the sheep pasture, is actually based, since it's under that main transfer group down there. So these are the numbers for that. That's how far, these are how far the distance from down here to up here. Backwards, forwards, and up. So what you're gonna want to do with this group is, we're gonna copy it. We want the street to keep going straight. So you take the sheep area, edit, duplicate. It makes another one right on top. And then, let's back up some. Now, just say we want the road to keep going this way. So you take this switch it. Okay, now, see this little, that's just a glitch. That has nothing to do with it, because once you get close, it disappears. Okay, now what we want to do is, this is where it's a good place to use the widget. You want to get this about as close as you can. Okay. See, now this is the disadvantage of that widget being at that end. And why you should always make the widget in the center of an object. But with roads, I do understand. Okay. So we're going to want to go down here because I want to get this widget over here in the view, same view. So we're going to go, let's go back to this main sheep area. See all these funky numbers? That's uh, where it's such a pain. So we're going to go ahead and knock this decimal off the end. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and knock, now this looks like it's almost at 0, so let's go ahead and just make it 0. It'll move it over there. Okay. So now it's at 0, Z. So actually the center point should be exactly over right here. Okay. Now you want to match up the numbers. So you're going to go to this sheep area and make this 0. Okay, now you jump back between them. This has a negative 215. Now this number right here is not going to be the same. Okay, one cool thing about this is this street is 100 meters long. So you know that the distance between this point here and this point here, the match up with this is going to be exactly 100 meters. Since this one's negative 215, this one is going to be negative 115. Because this is the 100 meter road. I'm sorry if I didn't say that. So go 115, enter, bam. It is exactly 100 meters from here to here. So we just minus 100 meters. And what we can do is, since this is the second one, we can have this under sheep area 2 and push enter. Now you know this is sheep area 1. This is sheep area 2. And there we go. We can go ahead and go to the terrain sculpt mode. We have it at 185. Middle mouse button. I'm not being perfection here. I'm just trying to make it go with the road. Go ahead and middle mouse button, replace all this. Go over a bunch of times, make sure it's the same exact height. And then go out of the terrain edit mode. Click anywhere off, and there we go. You have extensions of roads. And then you could duplicate this across the whole map. Just say you want to have a major freeway. You go ahead and you download a model. A model says it's a model for a freeway overpass or a highway, a 4-lane highway. You download it. You make the main transfer group that's at 00. You copy the model and paste it into you make another transfer group that's based off of 00, just like this one. You name it highway. You're going to have a highway that goes across your whole map, which I'm actually currently working on a model for a highway overpass, and the part that comes down the off-ramps and stuff. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But then you go ahead and paste it. I'll make it like 50 meters long. You paste another, move over 50, paste it, move over 50, paste it. Have it all in the same transfer group. You go ahead, select. You get because this sheep area is under the streets, it also falls under the streets, so it's all selected. And if you come down here, let's go ahead and see how good this guy made the connections. Looks like he made them repeating textures. So let's go and unclick, and there you go. Look at that, seamless. Seamless road. And there you go. That's how you make your roads. Now, you can go through the pack here and play around with all these. Make the curves. Make this make the ups and downs, play around with the turnaround circle, because you can put like one of these here and another one on the other side, and it'd be like a little loop and all that stuff. Here's your four ways and three ways, your transitions, all that stuff. So play around and have some fun, and that'll do it for this tutorial today. Um, Whenever you're done with the roads that you want, you can just go to the pack and delete it out of there, or you can keep it up there and steal pieces of road from it. Just keep it down. Just have it like down here, off the map somewhere. Let's just put it at -90. Alright, and it'll be down there for when we need it. Just make sure before you release your map that you delete it. Because they'll have to load the extra models and stuff and make it a little bit longer loading. But so far that we can then right here you can just go ahead and close up the streets, and then we're gonna go back up here. And look at the streets, and there you go. We have our streets. We can play around with them and do that. The next tutorial is we're gonna actually get into some other stuff. Now, I'm guessing most people before I end this tutorial, I was gonna make a tutorial on how to place map objects. Now, most of the time, I use a lot of custom models, so it's gonna be importing, and there's gonna be some that we're gonna take from the original game, but I'm just gonna cover something really, really quick. And if you don't know how to import a model by now, go back and start tutorial 1. That's all I can say. And plus, there's a bunch of tutorials in the US, the FS UK website, and in the forums. Just look at that. If you can't import a model by now, you're pretty much lost. Play Farming Simulator. Don't make maps if you don't know how to import a model. And I hate to sound rude, but I get so many questions. How do I import this? How do I import the farm? Or how do I import a building? I'm going to show you real quick. Just so you know, just so I can save a million questions later. We're going to go out of here. We're going to go to File, Import. Now you're going to go to your best starter map, your map, your models. Okay. Now, the way they have these models set up, they're all over the place. This is like natural. It says natural, but I think it means nature. Here's a tree. Now, inside the tree, there's, see this trees here? See, now, if you go over here, you see how big this file is? That is just like this street pack down here. It has every tree from the game in it. So when you load it, you're gonna want to load it down under the map and pick from it, and bring it back up and copy and paste them where you want to. With trees, unless you're making a straight hedge line, you really don't have to worry about numbers. Just kind of paste them and move them all around and make them look. Because with trees, it's better, unless you make an orchard or something, for them to be random. And same thing with this bushes. Even though it says only that, it's all the bushes. So let's do something easy. Let's bring in some lavender flowers. Okay. See, there's the flowers that are lavender, and I'm guessing it's just one flower bush. So when you import it into the map, it's automatically going to go at 0, 0. Now, usually at the end of the map, what I do is, since I base everything off of 0, 0, I'll go and create a transfer. Well, don't select nothing. Create a transfer group, and then go to transfer group. Name it like bushes, like flowers. Okay, and push enter. Okay, then I'll create another transfer group. I'm gonna name this. This is the sheep area, so sheep area. Enter. Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this one. I want it to go under flowers, so I'm gonna go edit, cut, highlight flowers, edit, paste, and now the sheep area is there. These flowers are at 0, 0. These are at 0, 0. Even though it looks like it's right there, it's not right there. It's way down there. It's based off of 0, 0. Alright, and then let's say you want all the flowers in the sheep area to be based on, let me see, this corner. Just say you want to make rows of flowers. Okay, so we'll make rows of flowers along the side of this road, let's just say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this sheep area one, Control B, and click it to say right here. Okay, now you get these funky numbers up here because these numbers are based off of this one, which is down there at 0, 0. The main transfer group always keep it at 0, 0. This one right here, so let you know the land is at 185. So go 185. Okay, this one is, let's just do negative 80. That's a good number. And then this number is, let's go. Okay, you know the end of this road is at negative 115 from before. So let's change that to negative 115. Okay, so it's at the end of the road, that far from it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this negative 75. Oop, wrong way. Negative 85. Okay, so we want bushes along the side of the road. So now we have that marker right there. Now what you want to do is you want to take this flower is at 0, 0. Now, it's going to copy the translations from this flower. So if you go edit, if you click on it, I'm sorry, you click on that, edit, cut, that cuts it and copies it. Clicked on the sheep area and push edit, paste. It's going to put it right on top of it because this flower sees this as 0, 0, 0, that marker. So let's go in a little bit and unclick off of it. And there we go, we have some lavender flowers. At the end of the road. Okay. So then what you can do is you take this one, since this is your first flower. What is even though it's not a transfer group, it's just a marker for a name, you can also have stuff based off this first flower. So this first flower, even though it's at 0, 0, 0 of the sheep area icon, which is right there, anything we place under this one is going to make this first bush as 0, 0, 0. So you take this, you want to take this flower and edit, copy. Now if you click right here, it's going to just paste it under this one because it's the lowest point. You click, so if you highlight that and push edit, paste, it's going to put that next flower right there under that. So what you do is you do this one, and this is where you start using numbers. Okay, now it's going to go, if you look at this flower is at 0, 0, this sheep area is that right there. That's a sheep area marker. Even though it's not this other sheep area, it's a sheep area under flowers. So that marks that point right there marks a 0, 0. This is 0, 0. This is 0, 0. So everything under here uses the most previous one as its beginning point. So what you want to do is you take this flower. Okay, if you go back to the sheep area, you can see that this moves side to side. This one moves it less. So if you know this is 115, negative 115, negative 110 will be this way. Go that way. So we're going to go to this flower and move it on the X, negative 10. It's going to put it right there. That's one. But we see that since the bushes are really small, we don't want to do that. We put negative 1. Let's do negative 2. That's be nice. Okay. Then you can keep going down in a hierarchy where it's based off of the next previous one, but that can be a pain. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back up here and push edit, paste. Okay, wait, we didn't want that one. Delete it. Okay. Probably the easiest way is go back to this original flow. That's okay. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. That's the original flow. Oh, that's all the flowers. This is the second flower. This is the first flower. Okay, let's try this one. Is at negative 2. Let's try this one at negative 4. Okay. Okay, then if you go to this one and edit, duplicate, and change that negative 6. And edit. You always click the last one, edit, duplicate, negative 8, and so on, and so on, and so on. But basically what it is you're going to have your main sheep area. Okay, you're going to have your flowers, which is your total group. Then under this flowers, you're going to have, let's close all this. Okay, under your flowers, you're going to have sheep area. Then you're going to have, you can have, go this one, create transfer group. Okay, then this the same. This, let's change this to cow area. Then you're gonna click on that, edit, cut, flowers, edit, paste. Now you have a sheep area under flowers and a cow area under flowers. And the flowers is gonna select everything. If you go sheep area, it's just gonna select the sheep area ones. Now if you put one over like over down there at the cow area, it'll highlight everything, all the ones in the cow area, etc. That is how you do it. That is how you place it. Just for another random one, that is for like flowers. I'm just gonna one last one, and I know this tutorial is going long, and if you like to leave now, that's fine. But I'm just gonna do one more thing here. I'm gonna close up all this, and I'm just gonna do like a building because people wonder how to import buildings. So file, import. It was at the last one. Let's go back to models up here. Here's buildings. Barracks, I think, are like I think they're like the little ones where You put a tractor in. Open. Okay, now this barracks, it's way down there at 0, 0 of the world. So let's go ahead and push Control B. Put it right there. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, I think it's a building from the actual from the golf course on the other map. Let's click off of it. And there you have it. That's a little house. It's imported. It's scenery. It doesn't do shit. I'm sorry for my language, but that's basically it. It's there to look pretty. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Um. So that's how you import a different model. Um. The next time I'm gonna show you how to. My next one's gonna be how to install a silage pit. How to set up a biogas area. Really easy, really simple. Most of the stuff that you need, you already have, and anything extra like other places um, that you download the customs that can do it too. So I'm gonna leave the tutorial here for now. That's how you place roads, how you get them all evened up, how to do rows of stuff, how to do different elevations with the replace tool, how to get a generic model in, and then come up here and I guess see like this model is based out of the middle of the whole exact model. So let's go ahead and do 185 for that. And get these some numbers here. Let's do -72. And this one will be like -140. And there you go. And then what's good about this is you can actually, just say you wanted a bush uh, around this thing, you can actually have this barracks as the major transform group, and then place them evenly around the house. But to me, so much easier. Click on a bush, move it. I think I'm rotating it. Okay, let's click that at 0. And this, there you go. And then just go like this, move it here, and move that. I want to push there, and then you duplicate, and then duplicate again. It's right there. Go this one over here. I want this flower over there. That kind of stuff. So that's the end of this tutorial. Play around, make you some roads, draw you out some maps, play around, do some other stuff. This is all I'm going to really do on placing models that don't do anything, roads. So go ahead and when you import something, go ahead and explore. Go into the models folder, go into the buildings. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Play around, load them on your map. If you don't want them, delete it. Just watch out for some, because some are a model like this, and some are models like in this in the natural one, like the trees. This one is all the trees. It'll put them all in a square. It's cool, so you can pick from them. Just copy, Control B, place it. Control duplicate, place it, place it, place it, place it, place it. It makes it really fast. With nature stuff, it's always better to be random than this straight stuff. Unless you're like doing something in front of a house or something. But thanks for watching my tutorial. I'm sorry it was so long. It's gonna take forever to upload because this is in high def, but to YouTube, and hopefully they let me. But my name is David Fraser. I'm with Slazer Games, also known as Fraser the Nerd, and all my gaming stuff. And keep watching and keep gaming. Thanks a lot.